We use the word traditionalist to describe a person who thinks that things used to be better, who is skeptical of progress and of change. If that's the casual usage of the word traditionalism spelled with a small t, the capital T traditionalism that I write about in my book relates to that, but is in fact far more eccentric and unusual. It is a philosophical and a religious and spiritual movement, and only recently a political cause that has its roots in early 20th century France and Europe, and in Italy, and which has thereafter spread throughout the world. The traditionalism that I write about, especially in its early incarnations, believed that ages and ages ago there used to be a true religion in the world, an authentic religion that had perfect insight into the metaphysical status of the universe. And that as time went on, that true religion was gradually broken into smaller pieces that fragmented into other religious faiths and practices, but though always in a incomplete form. Those religious practices that they believe best contain truths of this earlier religion are typically the esoteric branches of major world religions. That could be Sufism in Islam, it could be esoteric Christianity, it could be Kabbalah in Judaism, it could be Hinduism as well, often seen as having preserved the most of that earlier truth. But traditionalism worked its way into politics through a figure named Julius Evola, who was a sympathizer with Mussolini and Hitler in World War II. He brought it to bear in politics in ways that we really had not seen before and had not seen since until most recently. And the most recent incarnations are the subjects of my book. But especially the political traditionalists, they look at the world today, they look at modern society and see mass homogenization. They see borders between states disintegrating. They see powerful nations starting to become not just nation states, but instead global world governments. They see the basis of globalization being secularism on the one hand and materialism on the other, increasing attention not to religious or spiritual values, but instead the creation of money and goods, and perhaps in our popular culture a focus on other material things, not just money and goods, but even bodies, the ultimate materiality, sex in other words. And traditionalists believe that all of this was prophesized to happen, and that it is a sign that we are living in a dark age which comes at the end of a time cycle. And the way to break out of this dark age, according to most traditionalists, is for darkness to perpetuate itself, for destruction to go forward, after which we would see mass collectivity, mass homogenization in the world shatter into smaller pieces, where we would have a world of difference and borders replace the one that we had been living in. And in concert and in parallel with that, we would see a resurgence of spirituality in place of materialism. That is the traditionalism that I write about in this book. It has various incarnations, various forms to it, but its distinguishing features are one that it, in an odd way, yearns for darkness and for destruction. And likewise, that it gains its validation and its sources through a religious pluralist perspective, that it looks for agreement among a number of religions. So it is not the prerogative of the Christian zealot, not even of, let's say, the Islamist. It attempts to look beyond all that in this account of world history.